Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between that, and welcome on into the... Look, I added me as the Chad and Adobe as the Wojak, because Adobe is the goofball we're making fun of today. Things are going down in editing town, and I wanted to talk about it in a video because it kind of intrigued me, and also is something that I have been angry about for a long time. You guys know about Adobe. I'm using it to edit this video right this very moment, and it's something that I have been affiliated with for a long time. I took some classes with it, and if you're someone who uses Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Creative Cloud, any other different editing software, it's something that you've probably heard of before as well. And if you've heard of it, you probably also know how obscenely large the prices are. $60 a month? Like, I better genuinely orgasm while using the product if you're gonna make me spend 60 buckaroos every single month to have access to everything there. I know there's less prices. You could spend just $22 a month to have Photoshop, or another $22 for Adobe. And so, recently, Adobe has been getting under fire for quite a few things. Not only from the general public, for one thing, but the entire U.S. government. The Office of Public Affairs is teaming up currently with the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, to sue Adobe for something they've been doing recently. And I wanted to talk about the lawsuit in the video, as well as something going on with the general public who's mad at Adobe regarding something with their new AI. But I want to start with the AI first, because the lawsuit is something that's harder to explain and makes my brain hurt, and the AI is something I'm more affiliated with. So let's start with that one. So, if you're unaware of Adobe's new Firefly mechanic they've been trying to work on recently, in Photoshop, you can edit things. I don't know if you know this. If you edit things, images in Photoshop, the images are edited. And so they've added, a stupid ass thing to say, they added a new AI that can edit images for you. Adobe Firefly? Wow! Generate! That dog has a crown on it now! He's gonna be like a... Yeah, so, and that dog, he stripped the fuck out. And so it's an AI. It is an AI that they use to edit the things in their software, which is pretty cool. I honestly think it is so cool and would make YouTube thumbnails so easy to make. But also, it's, you know, it's AI, so it's like probably stolen from other people, right? Yeah, from all of you, everyone who uses Photoshop, apparently. There's been something going on online recently where I saw some different Twitter users, starting with Crown Prince, who is not lined up, actually, come on, lock in, who posted this, talking about how there is a privacy policy that if you click on this thing, Adobe may analyze your content using techniques such as machine learning to develop and improve our products and services. If you prefer that Adobe not analyze your files and develop or improve our products and services, I like how they put that too. If you want our product to be shit, I guess you could turn the setting off, asshole. So essentially, it being that Adobe supposedly is watching your content as you make it and having access to it so they can use it to train their AI. Oh my god, companies, there are so many people who like AI. Train it off of them. Stop trying to steal people's shit. This is the same thing with the Reddit. How Reddit was training AI based off of all the users on there, and now we have Google's Gemini telling people that they can make their spaghetti better by putting gasoline in it, or that if you're feeling like you're sad, jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. Thanks, Google. You did great. Teaming with Reddit, I like that. That was a good idea. And of course, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but when someone realizes that they're being stalked or having people breach their privacy, they get angry. And so people got angry. They started screaming at Adobe, kicking, crying, peeing their pants just a little bit, until Adobe came out with a statement saying this. We recently made an update. Let me do this. We recently made an update to our terms of service with goal? Oh my god. Of providing a more clarity on the few specific areas. We've received a number of questions, yeah, resulting from this update and want to provide some clarity. And they say the prominent point of this contention is section 4.2, which is not addressed in this response. And there's a giant, huge response. And it leads to this article, which I'll talk about in a second. But first, let's talk about 4.2 that they mentioned. 4.2 is one of the new things that's come out with the terms of service update with the new AI. And right now, it says ownership. Between you and Adobe, you, as a business user, a preferred personal user, as applicable, retain all rights and ownership to your content. We do not claim any ownership rights to your content, which sounds great. That sounds awesome. The good ending, which is not what it said a few days ago. I saw from a Twitter user named Oscar AI 4I, him, that apparently 4.2, and this is why people are mad, used to say, license for your content. Solely for the purpose of operating or improving the services of the software, you grant us a non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, publicly display, distribute, modify, create derivative works based on, publicly perform, and translate the content. For example, we may sub-license our right to the content to our service providers or to other users to allow the services and software to operate as intended, such as enabling you to share your photos with others separately, hit words, jumble, blah, 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 blah. We have access to the things that you're making on Photoshop and Premiere Pro right now. We're watching you. I hope you're happy. Which is so funny that they backtrack and say like, no, wait, no, we never said that. We changed it. It's okay. I also saw another post. I saw this one. It was a screenshot from a Twitter post that talked about 2.2, which I read this and it's also equally concerning. We may access, view, or listen to your content defined in section 4.1 through both automated and manual methods, but only in limited ways and only as permitted by law. For example, in order to provide the services and software, we may need to access, view, or listen to your content and respond to feedback and support requests. So it's just like, hey, we can check what you're making, we can look at what you're doing, and to be honest, I get why they have something like this, being like, oh, if someone's editing cheese pizza, if you take the letters and do the other thing on their application, they'd want to know that and be able to use it and cooperate with law enforcement to get that person sent into the slammer for the rest of their life, or beaten with bats. And so, I get that, but at the same time, recently companies, that's the word, have had the structural integrity and the security clearance of a brick house. And so, I worry about how if Adobe has access to everything that I'm doing on my Photoshop and they can see what I'm doing on my computer, and other people feel the same way, if they get hacked, or if they have a breach in security, or someone managed to walk right in and just press a button because for some reason, like Facebook has like 1 million users data leaked per year, it's like a quota or something. But in an unfortunate situation like that, my stuff is just accessible to people. It's not exactly my local files. Like they can't exactly get into my computer and find the specific folder I have where I just have images of me making out with Freddy Fazbear, which I don't have. But it's still something where they can access projects that I've created in the past, and I don't like that. I don't like that breach in security, and generally a lot of people feel the exact same way. And of course, Adobe came out with a response for this. As I talked about earlier on the tweet, they had this, the read more in our blog here, which I went then to the blog that talks about the clarification for the Adobe terms of use, which then sends me to another article. And so I go to the article talking about updating Adobe's terms of use. And if you scroll down, there's a few important notes that I highlighted, such as your content is yours and will never be used to train generative AI tool. We'll make it clear in the license grant section and any license talking about like we won't do it without your consent. You have a choice to not participate in our product improvement program, thus enforcing the consent idea, and then Adobe does not scan content stored locally on your computer in any way. So that's nice. That's cool. It's good to know that Adobe isn't watching me when I sleep. However, that doesn't change the fact that they're still being sued by the Office, what is it? The Office of Public Affairs? Is that what it's called? That is what it's called. They're being sued by them. And the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, they're getting sued. And I want to read about it. I saw a post from the Office of Public Affairs themselves, or on the big man's website, that says, the Justice Department, together with the Federal Trade Commission today, announced a civil enforcement action against Adobe Incorporated and 2 Adobe executives, this guy and that guy, for alleged violations of the Restore Online Shoppers Confidence Act. Which, if you want a little quick read on what that is, it just makes it unlawful for any person to charge or attempt to charge a consumer for goods or services sold in an internet-based transaction through negative option feature, unless the person provides text that clearly conspicuously discloses all material. So it's essentially saying you can't charge someone for the lack thereof a product. And the reasoning for this is if you have something in Adobe, if you have one of these extremely overpriced dogshit plans, when you eventually cancel that plan because you've run out of money in your wallet, you have to pay a fee for a cancellation, which is against that thing that I just read. So this is only the announcement of the... I'm so sorry, I hope I didn't hemorrhage anybody. This is only the announcement of the lawsuit. The lawsuit hasn't gone through yet. There hasn't been any court hearings or anything, so I don't know the outcome of this. However, I would love to see Adobe take a hit in some way, purely because I have so much beef with that company. I love Photoshop. I love Premiere Pro. I've been taught how to use them, and I find them extremely convenient. And so when I'm being charged a fucking arm and a leg every month to use a funny-looking editing software, I tend to get a little freaking pissed off. Yeah, I said it, the F word. I'm mad about it. And so, of course, seeing Adobe take a little bit of a hit for doing one of their scummy business practices makes me smile just a little bit. A little smile, a little grin comes to my face. And that's really where this situation kind of lies for now. I'll probably maybe try and report on this if more information comes out or any huge big drop comes, like Adobe's been lying and they actually have an AI in all of your computers watching you right now, knowing that you're not subscribed or liking the video. Yeah, I know. I see. I'm watching. But anyways, I'm probably going to wrap this video up for here. I apologize if this was less of a goofy, silly video. I have beef with Adobe and wanted to share my beef with you guys and hope that you enjoyed the video as I talked about it. Of course, before we close things out, I want to give you one last thing though. I saw a post from the Twitter user EverBlueComic with a bunch of Adobe alternatives. So take a screenshot. Go ahead. I believe these are all free alternatives, or maybe very less priced. Like you don't have to sell your cat to buy it. And so these are like easier to access editing softwares. I have paint.net. It's dog shit, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful dog shit. And so if you want to check that out, feel free to. I'd appreciate it. I'm happy that I'm able to help you guys out as well. But of course, I'm going to hit the road for now. So thank you for being here. Thank you. I am going to goodbye. I'm going to go hit road. I have an empty cup of water and I want to go put more water in it. So have a good night. And as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night. And I got nothing. Get out. Go. Bye. Bye. Get it. Get it.